the Galena house. It's got a driveway that just swoops down. Once you go into that, you walk towards the front door, and it has these stone arches. Everything in the territories has to have stone. It can't have brick. It all has to be natural wood, natural stone. So the home has all kinds of angles and views, and even from the outside, it was just really cool. When you walked in the front door, you saw these windows that just floor-to-ceiling windows for 2 stories. One thing that was just really cool and stood out about the house that I've never seen in any other home I've been in was there's not a hallway anywhere. Every room butted up to another room. The living room was open to the dining room, which was open to the kitchen, which was open to the sun porch. So there was only 4 bedrooms in the home, but everyone had a bedroom suite. So it had full tubs, whirlpool tubs, and showers. We had huge decks. There's a deck off of every bedroom. So there's a deck off the loft bedroom, there's a deck off the master bedroom, and then there's 2 walkout slabs off the bedrooms downstairs. And then there's a big, huge main deck on the back of the home that we had a large 8-person table and then a high top 4-person table also. So you could just entertain just on the deck if you wanted to, so it was pretty cool. Our kids, when we moved there, oh gosh, they were 13 and 15, and so made that part of their life memories there, and became little human adults, and it was pretty cool. For us to leave that, I remember walking in and taking that first breath of, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. We love this house, and gosh, am I really ready to leave it, and I am going to so miss this. And my husband and I, one day, he came with me and sat in the living room and said, this is just so beautiful. We were tired of taking care of 2 homes and the yard work and driveway in the winter shoveling because we're not there, things like that. We knew it was the right thing, but it was still hard. That home will always have a special place for us. I mean, it was pretty amazing. Once we realized we were in our 3rd year of trying to sell the home and knew that we needed to do something different. My husband one night was just on the internet and looked up some different auction companies, said to me, hey, here's this Williams & Williams, they look pretty good, they're national. So I did a little bit more research the next day and saw that they were a 4th generation company, and just all the things that it said just struck me as, I think this makes sense. We're marketing everywhere, we're not just marketing here, because people do come in here from New York, from Chicago, from Cedar Rapids, from all over, and it struck a chord, and I thought, you know what? It's worth a try. Why not? So then at that point in time, I decided to call Williams & Williams and just talk to them, and spoke with an outstanding salesperson. She spent probably 45 minutes just talking about time, how fast closing would be, and what the things that they would do, and how they would communicate with us along the way in that process. In 45 to 60 days, they do this marketing blitz, and then they have the auction, and then within a month that house is going to close, and you're going to have the money in your pocket, and you can move on to your things you want to do. And I think when I was sent the contract and some of the marketing information, it said something on there about a book by the CEO of Williams & Williams, Pam McKissick, and it would explain auctions and kind of tell you why. I read it, and I was all in at that point in time. We're trying to get X dollars for it, but if nobody's paying it, it doesn't do me any good. I can think it's worth that much, but it doesn't matter what I think. It only matters what the person that wants to buy it thinks. And that is really what was reiterated throughout this book with all kinds of different examples, and I just was the final thing that made me call the salesperson. That I think that was a weekend, and I called her on Monday and said, we're gonna do it. There were points during the process that I definitely was talking with my salesperson, and she was talking me off the ledge. I don't know, and I believe it, but is that all? And they would give us these weekly updates, which were outstanding. Am I right? I hope I'm right. Holy crap, my husband's gonna kill me. You're just like, it's insane. You have all these, you're secure, but insecure. I think the point that I really felt like, wow, I really think this is going to be awesome. I think it's going to go well, was the week before the auction, when you really started seeing some great numbers. The data that they captured from original hits on the website and the phone calls that they were getting, and there was actually an offer about a week before from somebody doing a pre-auction offer that we didn't end up doing, but it was nice because that's the first offer we got. We never even got an offer during the traditional. It was ramping up so much, and we were getting such good feedback. People from New York, people from Pennsylvania, people from Illinois, all this area, but also farther away, and conversations with their agents, and it was really good. It took me a little bit to get past it, but I bought in because I read that book. But there's a stigma with auction, and especially in a community like this where everybody knows everybody, that when all of a sudden they see an auction sign at your house, they think you're in foreclosure. They think that you are in distress, that, oh my gosh, they've got to sell it because they're in trouble, the business is in trouble. That was really important to my husband, that not be the message that was portrayed. We were really, really worried about what people thought. You had to get past that before you could finally say, yep, we're going to do it. We just wanted to move on to the next phase of our lives, and we had raised our kids there, and they had moved out and they were off to college, and we had a 6,400 square foot home that was beautiful, and we wanted somebody else to be able to raise their family there and have the experiences that we did. It was a decision for us. It wasn't any kind of distress, and it was just a choice. One of the things that really drew me in, and especially after I had talked with the salesperson with Williams & Williams, they would do this marketing campaign for 45 days and then have the auction, and then in the contract it says that will close within 30 days cash. There's no contingency allowed, no inspection, so you don't have to worry about someone coming back and saying, oh, but the gutter is bent, and also you've got to hire somebody to try and replace all the gutters on the house. We were selling as is, and ours actually closed in a little over 20 days because the buyers actually wanted to close quicker because they had things going on. So that was huge for us because we've been waiting 3 years to sell this home. So to know when we signed up, from the time that we signed up with them to definitely 90 days, between 60 and 90 days later, we'd have cash in our pocket and be moving on to the next thing in life. Not having to worry through the close process, oh, is their financing going to fall through? Oh, they sign away and they put down some cash, significant cash, that they don't get back if they can't follow through. So you only had legitimate qualified buyers there also. On the auction day, I made sure that I worked because I didn't want to think about it all day, because I think it was 6 o'clock at night. Also, we're like, oh my gosh, we got to get home because the auction is going to happen here in the next half hour, and we want to be there. But we weren't at the auction. We actually watched it online on their auction network. When you go to watch it on there, you're coming in 10 minutes before the auction, and they've got people that are like announcers. It's almost like it's a sporting event, and they're talking about the home, and they're bantering back and forth about things, and giving the positive qualities, and just so people, and showing the different pictures of the home. And then again, of course, we said, why are we selling? Because this house sounds pretty cool, because they had done such a good job selling it that day on the auction network. And so we teased about that. And then all of a sudden the auction starts, and the auctioneer starts talking and giving the instructions, and you kind of go, oh my gosh, now I'm really nervous. I can't watch. I can't do this. And so I'd kind of walk away. And they actually started the bidding process. You'd hear people bidding, and it was just, your heart is in your throat, and you're just so nervous. And I didn't want to be there because I couldn't have done it. I'd have been a freak. Watching online that auction on the auction network was the most convenient way for us to do this process. I'm watching these people talk about my home and the auction process itself. You can't get more convenient than that. I didn't have to drive a half hour to Galena to go do it. So then when it finally was done and they said done, you're just like, oh, now what do we do? Do we take it? Do we not? And you're just, so many things are running through your head. Right away, our salesperson had called us and said, okay, it's this number, and what do you think? So I'm looking at my husband and back and forth, and I kind of go, I think we should, and he says, okay, and so we go, yep, we're going to do it. And she was excited, and she was going to call the buyers because they were still at the home. I guess our buyers, the woman was crying. They were going to be getting married, and they're going to start their family, and she was just so excited to have it. And that was just for us because we're family people, and we wanted that to be the situation. After all this time, 60 days of talking to people, doing the marketing, deciding to do it, really buying into it, and it's done in 3 minutes. It was crazy. We went to bed that night and we were like, oh, we're done.